Hi, my name is Vivian Descheney. My clan is Nash Descheney na top basis chain tutson edashinal napile edashiche. Hobit niltraigi e yaha to go in a rug holia. Otto Charles L. Blood Ila Nana Martin Linkdo. My name is Geraldine and I live near a place called Winter Rock with my now full friend Glenn May. It's called Winter Rock because it has a big round hole in it that looks like a window open to the sky. Glen May is called a Glen May most of the time because it's easier to say than her Indian name, Glen Nuzbah. In English it means something like female warrior, but it is really a Navajo weaver. I guess that's why one day she decided to weave me into a rug. I remember it was a warm, sunny afternoon. Glen May had spent most of the morning sharpening a large pair of scissors. I had no idea what she was going to use them for, but it didn't take me long to find out. Before I knew what was happening, I was on the ground and Glen May was clipping off my wool in a great long strands. It's called mohair, really. It didn't hurt at all, but I admit I kicked up my heels some. I'm very ticklish for a goat. I might have looked a little naked silly afterwards, but did I feel nice and cool. So I decided to stick around and see what would happen next. The first thing Glen May did was chop up roots from yucca plant. The roots made a soapy rich lather, then she mixed them with water. She washed my wool into subs until it was clean and white. After that, a little bit of me, you might say, was hung up in the sun to dry. When my wool was dry, Glen May took out 2 large square combs with many teeth. By combing my wool between these garden combs, as they're called, she removed many bits of twigs and birds and straighten out the fibers. She told me it helped make a smoother yarn for spinning. Then Glen May carefully started to spin my wool one small bundle at a time into yarn. I was beginning to find out it takes a long while to make a Navajo rug. Again and again, Glen May twisted and pulled the wool. Then she spun it around a long, thin stick she called a spindle. As she twisted and pulled and spun, the finer, stronger, and smoother the yarn became. A few days later, Glen May and I went for a walk. She said we were going to find some special plants that she would use to make dye. I didn't know what dye meant, but it sounded like a picnic to me. I do love to eat plants. That's what got me into trouble. While Glen May was looking out for more plants, I ate every one she had already collected in her bucket. Delicious. The next day, Glenda made me stay home while she walked miles to a store. She said the dye she couldn't buy wasn't the same as the kind she makes from plants, but since I'd make such a pig of myself, it would have to do. I was really worried that she wouldn't still be angry with me. When she got back, she wasn't through, and pretty soon she had 3 big potfuls of dye boiling over a fire. Then I saw what Glen May had meant by dyeing. She dipped my white wool into one pot and it turned pink. She dipped it again and it turned into darker pink. By the time she finished dipping it in and out and hung it up to dry, it was a beautiful deep red. After that, she dyed some of the wool brown and some of it black, and I couldn't help wonder if these plants I'd ate would turn on me the same colors. While I was worried about that, Glen May started to make our rug. She took a ball of wool and wrapped it around and around 2 poles. I lost count when she reached 300 warps. I guess I was too busy thinking about what it would be like to be only red, white, black and brown goat in Window Rock. It wasn't long before Glen May had finished warping. When she hung the poles with the yarn on a big wooden frame, it looked like a picture frame made out of logs. She called it a loom. After a whole week of getting ready to weave, Glen May started. She began weaving at the bottom of the loom, then one strand of yarn at a time. Our rug started growing toward the top. A few strands of black, a few of brown, a few of red, and in and out, back and forth, until a few days the pattern of our rug was clear to see. Our rug grew very slowly, just as every Navajo weaver before her had done for hundreds and hundreds of years. Glen May formed a design that will never be duplicated. Then at last the weaving was finished, but not until I checked it quite thoroughly in front and back did I let Glen May take our rug off the loom. There was a lot of me in that rug. I wanted it to be perfect, and it was. Since then, my wool has grown almost long enough for Glen May and me to make another rug. I hope we do very soon, because we see that there aren't too many weavers like Glen May left among the Navajos. And there's only one goat like me, Geraldine. Hi, my name's Vivian Descheney, and I'm just like the book that I read, the Book of the Weaver. Here are some of my tools. I have the comb here, the paddle here, and the spindle here. These were my grandma's. Chanel stampin daddy. Ado nanalje ito. Ado ko ha. Here's the wool here. Oh, that is 7 inch.